What if I told you that the vast majority of what's on the internet is part of something that sounds like it's right out of a cyberpunk thriller? It's called the Deep Web. And although you might not feel like Tank from The Matrix, you probably use it just about every day, without even realizing it. But what exactly is this Deep Web? Actually, the definition is quite simple. It's the stuff on the internet that you can't bring up with Google or your favorite search engine, including everything from private social media profiles to hidden subreddits to medical, scientific, and business databases to the archived pages you'd find on the Wayback Machine, and really just any page that you simply can't get to without having the actual URL and the permissions to access it. And all this stuff really adds up. I mean, just think of how many Facebook accounts there are, how many companies with sensitive data and cloud storage, and how many private YouTube videos there are of God only knows what. Although it's nearly impossible to determine exactly how big the deep web is, it's been estimated that 99% of content stored on the internet is part of the deep web, leading some to compare the internet to an iceberg, with the deep web being the huge mass you can't see below the surface, except it's made up of corporate secrets and drunken selfies instead of ice. All right, Linus, speaking of secrets and substances, I just read a news story about some big shot online, drug kingpin or weapons dealer that got busted. Was he or she operating in the deep web too? Actually, not exactly. There's a lot of confusion between the deep web and the dark web, which is a somewhat similar concept, but has some very important differences. Unlike the deep web, sites on the dark web are often meant to be publicly accessible. However, you can't get to these places without special software that usually encrypts and anonymizes your connection in some way. The best known system that does this is the Onion Router, or Tor, which works by encrypting data when it's sent and bouncing it through a number of nodes until it arrives at its destination. Each node only decrypts enough of the message to know where to bounce it next, so only the receiving user knows the actual content. This successive peeling back of encryption layers inspired the Onion's name. Because of Tor's high degree of anonymity, it's earned a reputation for all sorts of illicit stuff like trafficking of drugs, weapons, animals, and humans, crime for hire, scams, botnets, and all sorts of other seedy enterprises. But believe it or not, Tor wasn't invented by some group of online mafioso types hoping to make a quick buck. It was actually developed by the US Navy to protect sensitive military communications. And although the US government is busy trying to catch those who use Tor for nefarious purposes, there are a lot of nobler uses for Tor and other dark nets as well. They can provide protection to human rights activists in oppressive nations, people with fringe political views or outside society's mainstream, those hiding from abusers, whistleblowers, or just folks who want more privacy in an age where people are concerned legitimately about surveillance. In fact, Uncle Sam actually heavily funds the Tor project to help people who are trying to speak out in authoritarian countries. So with the continued growth of social media and cloud storage and an online community that is increasingly aware of threats to privacy, usage of the deep and dark webs should continue to climb rapidly. But just remember, guys, that even the best security can be defeated by someone looking over your shoulder. Speaking of looking over your shoulder, are you shopping right now for a case, power supply, cooling fan, or CPU cooler? Are you? If you are, you should give Cooler Master a look. They've been making awesome PC parts for as long as I've been an enthusiast, and they've got some killer stuff on the market right now, with like those V-series power supplies that we use for all of our editing workstations, and some upcoming stuff too, including the Master Case, a well-ventilated series of cases with a ton of flexibility for internal upgrades and even external appearance changes. Check them out at coolermaster.com and let them know on Twitter at coolermasterusa if you ended up going for a CM product because you saw it here. Thanks for watching, guys. Like the video if you liked it. Dislike it if you thought it sucked. Check out our other channels. We've got our dildo racing video up on channel Superfun now, so you guys are definitely going to want to check that out. It is absolutely fantastic, totally inappropriate, and Just great in every possible way. If you have suggestions for future Fastest Possible videos, leave a comment below. And as always, don't forget to subscribe and follow and all of that good stuff. See you next time.